Ms. Hillary Wassick of the class of 2011 will deliver remarks on behalf of the Juris Doctor students in the Day Division.
Thank you and good morning. I am so honored to be here graduating beside so many brilliant and dedicated individuals. It's nice to see all your bright and shiny faces this morning. Mostly, to be honest, I see a general look of relief. I know the entire class of 2011 is so excited to be here. In fact, most of you have been updating your Facebook on a daily basis since November. 93 days, 12 hours, 14 minutes, 49 seconds until graduation. I almost wanted to get rid of Facebook. Almost. I need something to do in class. Well, guys, we made it. Here we are, 3 to 4 years later, and about 10 years older than we were when we started. And even though it seems like ages ago, I still remember that first day of classes our 1L year. There was this excited energy in the air as we all shuffled into that classroom. I remember looking around the room and hearing these murmurings about all the ways that people had prepared for their first law school class. I bought 2 study guides over the summer and read them. Or I decided to read the contracts casebook before school started. True story, you know who you are. And as I sat there going over my preparations, 4 episodes of Law & Order and a Boston Legal for good measure, I began to get really nervous. Was I going to be able to compete? Damn, I saw the stickers in the parking lot, Dortmund, Yale, Brown. And as Professor Strasser started that class, Professor Strasser, immediately those hands shot right up. Of course, my now husband's hand was up as well. What the hell had I gotten myself into? But it wasn't long before I realized that everyone was as nervous as I was. Because I think as we all learned, there isn't much you can do to prepare for that first year of law school. Sure, obviously doing the reading helps, but there really is no way to get ready for all the things you'll learn about the law and about yourself in that first year. For some, it was learning how to get up in front of a group of your peers in a moot court class and bumble your way through your first oral argument. For others, it was getting over the fear of getting called on in class and not being sure of the answer. And for those overly eager first-year students, the gunners, as we like to call them, it was learning that you actually don't know everything. Although for some of you, you still haven't learned that lesson. Again, you know who you are. But the one thing I think we all gained is that law school is like a marathon. And look, I spent a good deal of time trying to think of a good metaphor to explain to all of you who haven't been or aren't in law school what it's like. And until I came to this obvious marathon example. Law school is like a circus. You constantly have to juggle. You never know what's going to happen next. And behind the scenes, it's cruel and oppressive. That didn't seem like a very good message to leave you already. I got it. Law school is like a big cult. It targets the misinformed and optimistic, takes all your money, and leaves you speaking in a language that no person can understand. Law school really is like a marathon. Now, I admit, I don't know as much about marathons as some of our esteemed graduating class. Luke Meyer, who just qualified for the men's Olympic tryout. But from what I do know, the comparison actually fits quite well. First, law school is challenging. It forced us to push ourselves harder than we thought we could. There were times when we wanted to stop going, when we hit that wall and we wanted to quit. Marathons like law school are intense. They take dedication and they take hard work. They force you to dig deeply into yourself, even when you think you can't. And marathons like law school are rewarding. You have to remember that today we are achieving something great, just like crossing that finish line. I promised myself I wouldn't talk too much about the economy, but the job market right now can deceive us into forgetting just how much we've all accomplished by sitting here today. Someone who completes a marathon is always a marathon runner. And whether we decide to practice law or not, we will all always be lawyers, which gives us the unique ability to help others navigate a complicated and often harsh legal system. And I know that lawyers get a bad rap. Law, like any other profession out there, has its spectrum of quote-unquote professionals. And I know the motivations that sent us to law school might not totally support this idea that we have the potential to do great things. Having talked to many of you about how and when you decided to go to law school, I found out that we all came for similar reasons. Many of us started thinking about law because someone in our lives told us that we would make great lawyers. Why would we make great lawyers? Well, because we're stubborn. Because we are exceptionally good at fighting and arguing, which, being married to a law student, totally true. Because we love to hear ourselves talk, case in point. Or my personal favorite, because we are such great liars. So how can we, a bunch of strong-minded, manipulative, overly confident instigators, help the world? Well, it's actually quite simple. We leave this beautiful campus having gained knowledge that is forever ours. Skills that will enable us to see and influence the community at large in a way that others can't. And we've already started to see this. A couple of months ago, I was down in DC at a mock trial competition with 3 of my fellow students and mock trial all-stars, Kenneth Chan, Colt Holmes, and Matt Middleton, and we had gone into the city for a bit. I decided to take a cab back early, and the driver was so friendly, started asking me what I was doing in DC. I told him I'm a law student, and I'd like to be an immigration lawyer. Immediately, he began to tell me all about his family and their legal troubles in the U.S. And while I had to explain that I'm not yet a lawyer, and ethically I can't give him advice, I began to realize what the important role that each one of us will play in the lives of others. We've all been blessed with the intelligence to make it through a phenomenal law school, and with friends and family who have provided support and guidance along the way. But with this privilege comes responsibility. In the words of one of the most brilliant legal minds of all time, Dr. Seuss, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. We've been given a unique gift by sitting here today. And while it might have felt like a punishment or even torture at times, we've gained something meaningful. We now have the ability to look at a legal problem, pick it apart, and analyze it in an attempt to help someone else find justice. People are going to entrust us with their property, with their well-being, and with their lives. So, this is true of all of us. Wherever we go in the legal profession, whether it's to the top of a big law firm, to work with the government, to hang our own shingle, or to advocate for the indigent. So, class of 2011, I leave you today with this charge. No matter who you are or where your interests lie, give back to the community. Whether it's volunteering an hour of your time in a free legal clinic or taking a pro bono case when you can, use your awesome abilities to make things better. Care a whole awful lot in whatever you do. Never forget or take for granted the power you have to change someone's life for the better. On behalf of the class of 2011, I want to thank the friends and family in the audience for your support, both financial and, to be honest, mostly emotional. I want to thank the administration and faculty of UConn Law for teaching us so much about so many interesting topics and for always pushing us to be better. And lastly, I want to thank you, the class of 2011. Today is a day of mixed emotions. We're excited to be done, but sad to say goodbye. Thank you all for always challenging me and inspiring me. Keep it together, Hillary. I'm proud to walk beside you today and even more honored to call you my colleagues. Thank you and congratulations.